Leela Bloom considered herself exceptionally good at being beautiful. Her golden curls obeyed her brush, her smile won over grumpy bus drivers, and her clothes always looked perfectly coordinated. Every mirror confirmed this delightful fact, until the attic mirror. While searching for her grandma's old costume trunk for the school play, Leela pushed aside a dusty sheet. Beneath it was a full-length mirror in a heavy, dark wood frame carved with twisting vines and strange, watchful birds. Unlike her cheerful pink bedroom mirror, this one felt deep. Hesitantly, Leela peered in. Her reflection shimmered, then sharpened. Yes, there she was, golden curls, bright blue eyes. But then, more faint, ghostly images flickered over her reflection like transparent watermarks. A giant, looming mass test paper covered in red X's her secret dread. A dark, empty stage where she stood frozen, mouth open in silence, her fear for the upcoming play. Her reflection's eyes widened with panic she felt but hadn't shown on her face. This mirror didn't just show her face, it showed her fears. Whoa, Leela breathed, stepping back. That was weird. Really weird, but also strangely fascinating. Was it magic? A trick? A week later, she crept back up. This time, as she focused on the reflection of her own nervousness about trying out for the soccer team, something shifted. For just a split second, her own bright blue eyes weren't looking back. Instead, they were sharp, beady, and a startling shade of amber yellow, like a bird's. Leela yelped and stumbled backwards. Someone else's eyes? That was beyond weird. That was a mystery. Operation Truth Mirror was born. Leela recruited her best friend, Benji Brains Baxter, and his little sister, Scout Eagle Eyes Baxter, who missed nothing and could fit into small spaces. They were the Bloom and Baxter Detective Agency, unofficial, but highly motivated. The mirror frame. Scout, using a magnifying glass borrowed from Brains, discovered tiny initials carved near the bottom, E.T., and the date 1922. Leela described the strange amber eyes, like a grumpy parrot's. Scout declared instantly. Mrs. McGillicuddy down the block has one that stares like that. Brains hit the library's local history section. He found that the house was built in 1921 by Elias Sisselbottom, a reclusive ornithologist bird scientist. E.T., Leela gasped. Elias Sisselbottom made this mirror somehow special, connected to birds, but why show fears? And whose eyes were those? Scout suggested interviewing Mrs. McGillicuddy about her parrot, Captain Squawk. The old lady was delighted. Oh, Captain Squawk belonged to my great-uncle Elias. Nasty-tempered old bird. Inherited him with the house years ago. Elias doted on him, said he was frightfully intelligent, always muttering about truths and reflections. Did your Uncle Elias have any special mirrors? Leela asked casually. Mrs. McGillicuddy chuckled. He was obsessed with them, had them everywhere, especially one big old thing in his study. Claimed it showed more than just vanity. Said it reflected the inner aviary, whatever that meant. He vanished suddenly in the 40s. Left everything, even Captain Squawk. Weird business. Back at the attic, the detectives pondered. Inner aviary, Brains mused. Birds, fears, eyes. What if Mr. Sisselbottom didn't just like birds? What if he somehow connected to them psychically, and the mirror amplifies that? Leela remembered the flickering fears. Maybe the mirror shows strong feelings. Fears are strong. And if he was connected to Captain Squawk, maybe sometimes, Scout whispered, eyes wide. The parrot is looking through the mirror. Using Uncle Elias's old connection, it was bonkers, but it fit the clues. They needed proof. Leela bravely stood before the truth mirror again, concentrating hard not on her own fears, but on the image of Captain Squawk in his cage. She thought about the parrot's sharp eyes, his loneliness after Elias left, his frustration at being called a dusty dumpling by Mrs. McGillicuddy's cat. The mirror shimmered, her reflection blurred, and there unmistakably were the sharp, intelligent, amber yellow eyes. They blinked. Leela didn't look away. "Hello, Captain Squawk," she whispered. The eyes widened slightly. She felt a wave of surprise then. Curiosity, not malice, just ancient bird grumpiness. Suddenly, a loud, raspy voice echoed not from the mirror, but seemingly from the walls. "Who disturbs the perch of Elias? State your business, featherless wretch." The detectives jumped a foot in the air. The voice was coming from a dusty old speaking tube in the corner, connected to the walls. Elias must have rigged it to his study. And maybe the mirror. Scout, recovering fastest, darted to the tube. "Captain Squawk, it's us, the detectives. We know about Elias." Silence. Then, slightly less raspy, "Detectives? Ha! More like nosy goslings. What do you want? Puddle hoppers?" Leela stepped forward, grinning despite the absurdity. "We solved the mystery. The mirror shows feelings, and sometimes it connects to you. You were Elias's friend, weren't you? You miss him?" A soft, almost sad cluck echoed down the tube. "Elias gone. Left Squawk. Mirror eyes. See too much. See fears. See lonely. Boring. Only dusty dumpling cat to insult." The mystery wasn't scary anymore. It was lonely. Elias had created a mirror to see deeper truths, maybe even connect with his beloved bird. But after he vanished, the connection lingered, amplified by the mirror. Sometimes showing fears, sometimes letting a very old, very bored parrot peek through. Leela looked at the mirror. Her reflection was back, but softer. She saw her own empathy for the grumpy old bird. "We could visit," she offered. "Tell you detective stories? Maybe. Not call you Dusty?" A contemplative squawk. "Detective stories? Acceptable. Bring seed cake, no raisins, and tell Dumpling Cat." His whiskers look silly today. The connection faded with a final, decisive squawk. The Bloom and Baxter detectives looked at each other and burst out laughing. They dissolved the case. A truth-telling mirror powered by loneliness and a parrot with serious attitude. Leela patted the old frame. "Well, mirror," she declared, striking a pose, "you might show fears, but you also just helped us make friends with a century-old bird with a vocabulary like a grumpy pirate. Now that's a reflection I can live with. Just maybe. Lay off the math test visions, okay? A detective needs her beauty sleep." She winked at her own, finally normal reflection.